Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar. Then we'll run through the UK Met Office run, have a look at the precipitation and temperature over the next 5 days. This is going to be reasonably warm, but there will be quite a few showers around, especially further northwards and westwards. And then we'll have a look at the mid to longer range, as it is still looking like it's going to be warm, if not hot, for the middle third of May. Now we've got warmer weather out there at the moment. It's going to turn potentially a little bit cooler, a little bit more unsettled, with a brief westerly period for 2 or 3 days early next week. And it's beyond that, around day 7 to day 10 time frame, we're still seeing this real big signal for very warm temperatures, 5 to 10 degrees above average. Temperatures could be getting up into the mid to high 20s for many. It looks really quite hot indeed. Whether we can class this a heat wave or not, that is yet to be determined, as we'll have to see exactly what those peak temperatures will be. But we're still seeing very, very strong signals for this high pressure to build up from the south with a proper warm African air mass. Just to remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure to like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. So if we do start on the live radar, you can see it is a pretty dry day. Contrast to yesterday, where we saw that band of precipitation move through the northwest to southeast. Well, pretty much most areas, a little bit of rain, of course. More rain further northwards and westwards, where it was more organised. But as it drifted southwards and eastwards over the course of the evening into the night, it did lose its intensity. But a few millimetres of rain quite widely, so a bit to soak the ground. But today it is pretty dry. We have got some showers across parts of Scotland, mostly light and quite scattered, and a few heavier showers across the far southeast of England. Again, with that low pressure system, or at least upper trough over Europe, you can see quite a few heavy showers and thunderstorms breaking out there, and just extending a little bit into parts of Kent and Sussex. So a few showers that they should fade over the course of this evening, but most areas are largely dry. Now, if we do have a look at the temperatures, you'll be able to see it is a pretty decent day across most areas, especially in England, Wales, and the Republic of Ireland, spreading to Northern Ireland. It is high teens, low 20s. Those oranges symbolic of that sort of 19, 20, 21 degree sort of conditions. Now, we saw quite warm conditions yesterday, 23, 24 degrees. I think we were officially 0.1 degree off the highest temperature of the year so far, which we saw in the middle of April. We're definitely going to be beating that over the next week or two. That is pretty much guaranteed now, regardless if we do see that very hot weather that looks quite likely. Regardless of that, I'm pretty sure we will reach 25 degrees, 26 degrees locally at some point. But you can see largely warm conditions. Of course, the further north you spread, a little bit cooler, as we still have a little bit of a westerly flow, bringing in that air a little bit more off the Atlantic Ocean, cooling things down. But for large areas, it's a really quite pleasant day. Some cloud around, but still plenty of sunshine, looking really quite nice indeed. It does look like the best conditions across the West Midlands, down into southern parts of Wales, the Bristol area to southwest England, looking really nice in this area here. Very, very good indeed. So if you do have a look at the UK Met Office run, have a look at precipitation and temperature over the next 5 days. So if you run through to this afternoon, you can see those isolated showers in the far southeast, and those showers further northwards and westwards. Quite a bit of cloud around, but a lot of sunny spells breaking through as well. Now, over the course of the evening, more cloud will collect, especially further westwards, and by tomorrow afternoon, that cloud will break away again, and you can see the sunniest conditions are in the east. Across East Anglia and the far southeast, where we've seen showers today, you're looking like it was going to be a very sunny day tomorrow. Further northwards and westwards, a little bit more cloud around, and a few showers. Beyond that, into Monday, see weather fronts arriving, and by the afternoon, quite a lot of heavy rain in the north and the west. A bit of a contrast there, and further south and eastwards, looking quite a bit more cloudy as well. And this is this brief westerly spell coming in with low pressure. It did come into the model time frame maybe about a day or two ago. So into the model output, a day or two ago. So we are expecting it, but it's only going to last a day or two before this high pressure builds up from the south, and you can see a lot of heavy precipitation to the north and west. Does spread south and eastwards at times, but does sort of degrade away, and just plenty of showers through Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe some heavier rain in the south through Thursday, and that just continues later in the week. But it should slowly start to turn drier after that. If we look at the pressure, you can see higher pressure is building up from the south, westerly flow, but that high pressure is in the south, and look at those upper air temperatures. It is chillier further northwards, but that warmer air is just to our south, and it's going to drift up slowly towards the end of next week. So in around a week's, or maybe just under a week's time, this real warm air mass is going to start to spread in. Bit of uncertainty with it, of course, as we'll see with the mid-range in a minute, but it looks highly likely we're going to be seeing that come off. So if we do run through, you can see temperatures once again widely high teens, low 20s. See that bullseye area towards southwest of England into parts of southern Wales. 20, 21 degrees, looking really quite pleasant indeed. Really, really nice. If we do move through to Sunday, again, very warm conditions. Again, wide across England, Wales, into Republic of Ireland and Scotland, seeing high teens, maybe 20 degrees for the high temperature. And through into Monday, we do start to see a little bit more unsettled conditions come in, but for the further eastwards and southeastwards, still 20, 21 degrees is possible, more widely 17, 18 degrees. But further northwards and westwards, across the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland with precipitation around, a good 5 degrees cooler, only around 12 to 14 degrees. And that will continue into Tuesday, where the warmer temperatures are once again in East Anglia, southeast of England, where we do avoid the heaviest rain. 20 degrees possible there. And into Wednesday, once again, very similar. Some areas escaping the precipitation of thicker cloud, 19, 20 degrees under precipitation, and thicker cloud, more like 13 to 15 degrees. And that'll continue into the end of the week before we see those warmer air masses finally spread up from the south. So we do have a look at that by having a look at the latest GFS. Now you can see high pressure over the top of the country at the moment. That's why it's pretty dry. Now that does continue through Sunday, but it's by Monday you can see that westerly winds coming in, low pressure running in off the Atlantic, and we do see just a brief burst of westerly winds all the way to around Friday, Saturday time. Exact timing is still a little bit uncertain, but it's roughly that sort of period. Friday, Saturday time, we're going to start to see high pressure build up from the south, and it ridges quite far northwards over the top of the UK, dragging up south to southeasterly winds. Big high pressure system by day 10, bringing warm, if not hot conditions. Now right towards the end of the run, the GFS tries to pull in more of a northeasterly flow with this high pressure building up towards Greenland, but that's right in the extended range. Before that, we'd see 5+ days of very warm, if not hot conditions. So I don't think we need to be too worried about a bit of a northeasterly flow at this stage, which could cool things down, as it is way too far ahead to make any sort of air to have any sort of weight. So if you do look at the operator temperatures, you can see it's pretty warm at the moment, especially further south and eastwards, bit cooler air masses further northwards, and that continues over the coming days. Westerly winds eventually arrive, not massively cool in terms of air masses, still very warm air just to our south. That's why we still can see those warmer temperatures in the far southeast. But eventually, that high pressure ridges up, and you can see the 10-degree ice firm right towards our south, 15-degree ice firm very close by. Again, the exact flow, the exact isobar direction is still a little bit uncertain. High pressure is ridging up from the south. Its exact positioning will decide whether it's 23, 24, 25 degrees or 28, 29 degrees. Being more of a direct southerly, 28, 29, 30 degrees is possible. More like this sort of conditions where high pressure is sitting over the top of the UK in a relatively warm air mass, but not particularly hot air mass, we would see temperatures more like 24, 25 degrees widely, and maybe locally a little bit warmer. As we see the ensembles, they favour more of a direct southerly wind, but we'll have a look at that at the end of the video. Beyond that, high pressure stays around, and eventually we do start to see a bit of a northeasterly flow, chilling things down a little bit, but it's nothing too crazy. Now, if we do run it back just to the end of this coming week and just have a look at the temperature deviation, you can see chilly by the end of next week before generally warm air masses come in. A good 4 to 6 degrees above average, very warm indeed, very hot towards Iceland and Greenland. In fact, we stay above average right towards the end of the run. As I said, I wouldn't put too much weight in that as it is so far in the extended range. So we do have a look at the GEM run, which does something very interesting. Again, it's a run that we can't discount, but it does very much go against the idea of any form of warmer or hotter weather, as we'll see. So high pressure builds in. We do see a westerly flow with low pressure towards the end of the week into next weekend. You do see we struggle to get that high pressure going, and more low pressure does dominate. And the high pressure reaches really far northwards, means you go into a northeasterly flow. So it's a very similar pattern with high pressure over the top of the UK, but it's not quite as extensive, and it sort of traps cooler low pressure systems just to our east. And you can see a chilly easterly flow. Temperature deviation below average, 2 to 4 degrees below average. Pretty chilly indeed. Very interesting seeing that from the GM run, and all that hot air is just trapped to our south. Again, It doesn't have a lot of backing behind it, as we'll see with the ensembles at the end of the video. Well, I'll even have a look at the GM ensembles to see how much of an outlier it is. But it is a scenario, so that's why I say it's not guaranteed to get very hot, or at least very warm. It's just looking like the most likely scenario at this stage. If we do have a look at the ECMWF, which is still going for the very warm, hot weather. So if we do see, you can see high pressure building over the top. Brief westerly flow next week. By Friday, Saturday time, we're bringing high pressure up. Really a warm flow with vigorous lows trapped out in the Atlantic. High pressure to our east, pulling up a direct southerly flow. Real big warmth. You can see these darker reds showing the heights rising to over the top of the UK. Very warm southerly winds. If we did see that low pressure encroach into that warmer air mass, we could start to see heavy showers and thunderstorm outbreaks. But very far in the future, so I don't want to look at that in too much detail. But you can see the air masses generally very warm air masses. 10 degrees at 850 HPA, getting towards 12, if not 13, 14, 15 degrees. You can see that just wafting up through Portugal, Spain, and France, maybe in the 20 degree isotherm there for some. And again, look at the temperature deviation, really hot indeed. 8 to 10 degrees above average, even across Scotland where we see very warm air, maybe 12 degrees above average. And again, you have a look at the United Kingdom, look, very hot there over the Highlands of Scotland, getting up towards 13 degree isotherm. Very, very warm indeed. Again, we look at the 2 meter temperatures. It's not going to show anything too crazy because it is midnight, but you can see it's still 14, 15 degrees. And in the day, of course, midday, not the peak temperatures, and of course, not being a particularly high resolution ECMWF run, 22 degrees at midday would more likely be 23, 24 degrees in practice. And of course, once we get to the peak temperatures, 3, 4 p.m., most likely be 25, 26, 27 degrees. So that's what we could be expecting come the end of next working week into the weekend and the start of the following working week. And it's widespread, not just the far southeast sort of bullseye area getting this. You can see widespread 20 degrees by midday. And as I said, not a high resolution model, so likely to be warmer in places and, of course, not at the peak temperatures of the day. So we do now finish up the video by having a look at the ensembles. If we do start with the GFS, you can see around average at the moment, turning much milder over the next couple of days, and that's why we can see that 23 degrees, potentially 24 degrees in the far southeast, turning cooler towards the start of next week and towards the end of the week with the westerly winds coming in. But as that high pressure builds in around a week's time, you can see those temperatures rising significantly to a good 5, 6, 7 degrees above average, around 10 degrees at 850 HPA. And as I said, the GFS Operational Run, not getting as much of a direct southerly, is a bit of an outlier. You can see there, cooler than the ensemble mean, and we stay well above average for the foreseeable future, with quite a lot lower in terms of precipitation, so very firm signal for high pressure building in. And we can see that very much on the sea level pressure, low pressure towards the early to middle part of next week, and that high pressure really building in, initially not into much of a hot air mass, but building in temperature as we head through the end of next week. So very warm there. And if we do have a look at the 2 meter temperatures, you can see that rise significantly, getting towards 20 to 25 degrees quite widely. And again, they're low resolution, so it's likely to be a couple of degrees warmer than that, and potentially some of the ensemble members even reaching high 20s. Very warm indeed. If we do look at the GM ensembles just briefly, just to show you how that GM run is an outlier, you can see there it is the second coldest run. Majority of the runs getting well above average, and you can see there is alongside one of these blue ensemble members going very cool at day 10. So an outlier there from the GM run. And if we do look at the ECMWF ensembles, for the midnight run, you can see again, very similar to the GFS, cooler by the end of next working week, and then a massive rapid rise. And again, there's 50 ensemble members here, and pretty much all of them, bar from a couple, are above the 1981-2010 mean. So even if it doesn't get to this 10 to 15 degree level at 850 HPA and only 5, 6, 7, 8 degrees, it's still above average, still low 20s. So it still does look like it's going to be warm, if not very warm, maybe even hot with some of these very, very warm ensemble members, including the control run, which is off the scales, 15 degrees at 850 HPA around the 18th, 19th of May. Very hot indeed. And if we do look at the 2 meter temperatures for that, you can see that control run getting up towards the 30 degree mark in London, and widespread ensemble members getting up towards that 25 degree mark. And as I said, they're low resolution, likely to be 1, 2, 3 degrees warmer in spots, especially in London with a bit of urban heat as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we did see high 20s, if not maybe even just touching on 30 degrees before May is out. So it does look like a little bit up and down over the next sort of 5 to 7 days. Warmer at times, a little bit unsettled, but it does look like we're still seeing very warm, if not hot weather coming for the middle to second half of May. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you're looking forward to warmer weather, it's another good update. If you're looking for a bit of precipitation, we're still going to be seeing some rain over the coming days, especially further northwards and westwards. So looking decent for most people. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.